What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Saturday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. I hope everybody had a safe, fun, happy St. Patrick's Day. I certainly did, especially with the bets. And boy, is there any sports on today? I think there's NCAA. I think there's NBA. I think there's NHL, Major League Baseball, UFC, MLS, PGA. It's a day. And we had a day yesterday, 3-0 on the bets. We hit NCAA. We had Miami -2. We had NBA. We had Cleveland -5.5. That hit. We had the Toronto Maple Leafs on the money line. That hit. None of them, aside from Miami, were really even all that close. The Maple Leafs won by 3. The Cavaliers won by over 20. Miami ended up winning by 7, so we did well there. It's been a nice bounce back couple of days. We were down. We went 0-3 on Sunday, 0-2 on Monday, and now we're 5-1 in our last 2 days. So we are back today. I don't have anything in NCAA basketball. I am going to have some additional side plays, but what I like today, I just happen to like a little bit more. We're going to start in the UFC, and we're starting with the main event. We've got a parlay, a 2-leg parlay, so we won't start in the main event. We'll start in the co-main event, and we're going to start with Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. Okay, this should be a hell of a fight. Fiziev is sort of an up-and-coming phenom in the UFC. He's won 6 fights in a row. He's currently 225 on the money line against former lightweight champion Justin Gaethje. This is UFC 286. This is in London. So we've got a bit of an earlier card tonight, and I'm going to parlay in the co-main and parlay in the main. We're going to start with Fiziev. Listen, Gaethje's a great fighter. He has wrestling credentials. He's an NCAA wrestler, but he never really uses it. And the reason that I bring this up is that it's interesting that he doesn't, because this might be the only way that he can battle with Fiziev, who is a striker, who is an incredible striker. If he were to use his wrestling, he might have a chance. He tends to use them just for defense. And if he's going to slug it out with Fiziev, he's probably going to get knocked out. I actually like Fiziev plus the knockout if you're looking for another little prop. Fiziev has one-shot power. He's a very good striker. He's very good at hitting the body. If Fiziev can control the distance and Gaethje can't check his kicks, it could get very ugly. This could be a very violent fight, which should be interesting. And look, Gaethje hasn't looked all that great in his recent fights. He's only won by essentially outlasting his opponents and getting to the cards. I like Fiziev to win in the co-main event on the money line. We're going to parlay that with the Kamaru Usman money line as well. Listen, the previous fight was a barn burner. It was going to go 5 rounds. It was going to go the distance. Usman was in full control against Leon Edwards, and then bam, he got popped with a head kick late in the fight, and it was a massive upset, but I do not suspect that's going to happen again. Like I said, Usman was on his way to a pretty clear-cut victory. And you could argue maybe, fighters aren't going to be the same after they get knocked out like that from a massive head kick. So could there be concern? Usman is 36 years old. I do think he bounces back with a nice victory here. He's going to essentially try to fight the same fight. He's going to try to get it to the cards. There's going to be a lot of clinching, a lot of grappling, a lot of up on the cage. It's probably not going to be the most interesting fight, but I do think Usman can regain his title here. I do not think it's going to be exciting. I think the co-main with Fiziev and Gaethje, that's going to be probably the fight of the night. But I just don't think Edwards has much knockout power. Yeah, he caught him with a head kick, and anything can happen. I don't think that happens on back-to-back occasions, and I think Usman is going to be able to use his wrestling to wear down Edwards and win that fight. So we're going to take Usman and Fiziev on a 2-leg moneyline parlay that gets us to plus 103 at DraftKings. Moving to the NHL, we've got the Stars and the Flames. Now, you might say, well, I've been following this podcast for a while. I've been following the videos. Stars are an automatic under, right? Not so much. The Stars, we've won a lot of money betting the unders, but we're going to take the over today. Dallas is playing over games. Over is 5-0-1 in the Stars' last 6 versus a team with a losing record. Over is 8-1-1 in their last 10 games overall. The over is also 7-1-1 in their last 9 against the West, and 5-1-1 in their last 7 playing on 1 day's rest. Oh, and it's also 5-1 in their last 6 versus the Pacific. But that's actually not the interesting statistic. The interesting statistic is, so the last time when a home team is coming off a road game in Vegas, the over is 28-6-1. That's 82%. When the home team is coming off a road win in Vegas, the over is 14-1. Calgary's coming off a 7-2 win against Vegas 2 nights ago. Take that for what you will. They go out and celebrate in Vegas. They don't have a game the next day. I'm not sure. but those statistics are pretty hard to bet against. 14-1, 28-6-1 to the over after a team plays in Vegas and flies home the next day. So even though Calgary is 34-34 to the over on this season, they've been playing some under games lately. I don't care. I'm going to take the over. It looks to be Markstrom in net, who's got a save percentage under 90. Ottinger is expected to be in for Dallas, but, Dallas is scoring goals. Calgary's coming off this road win against Vegas, so give me the over. And if you get 6, too, you get a nice number of 6. Push potential. Give me over 6 for -110 at Bet365. And our last bet of the day, maybe a little bit boring, maybe a little bit predictable. It should be a hell of a hockey game. We've got the Boston Bruins on the road at the Minnesota Wild. It's a 2 p.m. start, so a bit of an earlier start. The probable goalies are Ullmark and Gustafsson. Gustafsson is confirmed. Ullmark is not, but either way, I like this to be an under game anyways. You've got Boston 33-28 to the under, and the Minnesota Wild 39-27 to the under, sort of an under train that we've ridden throughout the season. Boston's under is 4-1-2 in their last 7 when their opponent allows 5 or more goals in their previous game. Now keep in mind, Minnesota did just come off a game where they won 8-5. There were 13 goals in that game. Is that going to happen again? I don't think so. I think they're going to revert back to how they normally play. The under for Boston is 4-1-2 in their last, as I mentioned, 4-1 in their last 5 against the Central. Under is 11-3-1 in their last 15 games versus a team with a winning record. They play tough games. For the Minnesota Wild, over is 4-0 in their last 4, but under is 4-0 in their last 4 following a road trip of 7 or more days, which is the case here. Under is 4-0 in their last 4 against the Atlantic, and 6-1 in their last 7 when their opponent allows 2 or less goals in their previous game. Regardless of who's in net, I like the under. Again, we've got push potential at the 6. We're going to take the under for -125. That's at Bet365. There are so much going on today in the world of sports on a Saturday. Let's just get into it. I'm very excited. Your card for this extremely busy Saturday, give me Rafael, Fiziev, and Kamaru Usman on a moneyline parlay for +103 at DraftKings. Give me the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames to go over 6 for -110 at Bet365. And give me the Boston Bruins and the Minnesota Wild to go under 6 for -125 at Bet365. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following at Tyler Conning for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portions, and audio versions available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Big Saturday. Let's go. Let's talk sports.